I was at the Pink Palace and I saw that Master Entrepreneurs of Business on the wall over there, and I thought, boy, that is really neat, Boy, that'd be nice to be on that someday. And I was just, whatever, but here I am. I worked for an import company for about 5 or 6 years. That company actually was owned part by my father, but that's where I got a lot of the experience in importing. So from that company, I learned how to handle business a lot of different ways, marketing, sales, purchasing, a lot of different things. And even before I left that company, I was actually handling the financing for the company with the bank. So, I left at 29, started my own company at 29, but I'd already been, handling the financing, arranging credit lines and everything for the company. So I had a lot of good experience. I was lucky to get that experience.
Hilliard has a very analytical and mathematical mind. I myself had worked with him on projects and caught myself pecking away at a calculator, only to find that Hilliard already had the answer and was just waiting on me to finish.
I got the idea that when OSHA passed, they were requiring all the industry to supply their workers with gloves or protective clothing, that type of thing. And that's what the new law required. So it sprung up that they were needing companies to sell to these factories. So I started a company to do that. We imported gloves, we sold them to distributors who sold to the factories. That was in 1974, we're 40 years old now. When I started, the office was in the home and I had a 10-foot by 20-foot mini storage unit as a warehouse. I was only doing this to try to make a living. I thought I'd have a little business, a 500 square foot or 1,000 square foot warehouse and be able to have a couple employees and do this like that. I never was planning this. I mean, once I saw, okay, this worked, I just kept expanding,
While most people may get excited on going to lunch, here would prefer to have an oatmeal cookie and work on ways to finance more inventories to help grow the business.
We did really well with telemarketing, and it took 15 years before our competitors caught on that they could sell by telephone. So we made a lot of hay in that time. We grew a lot.
One of Hilliard's strongest attributes, I believe, is his competitiveness, both personally and professionally. I believe it's this competitiveness that has served him well in his entrepreneurial successes. Quite simply, Hilliard doesn't like to lose.
His vision maybe was a little bit, seemed like a bit of a stretch at the time, but looking back in hindsight, was dead on.
10 years after we started, we did 33 million. So we did 120,000 the first year. 10 years later, we did 33. And then in the second 10 years, we went to 115 million. At 20 years, we're at 115. Now we're 275 now. MCR Safety is by far our biggest division, and it sells personal protective equipment, protective clothing, safety glasses, gloves. In fact, gloves was our first product. When we first started the business, we started another company. We had Memphis Glove Company. We started another company with crew safety glasses. There was another company that we started for protective clothing. We bought out a little company in Michigan that manufactured some special gloves particularly for the fire industry. That's when we formed Shelby's Specialty Glove, and that's the one. It's a manufacturer of fire gloves. It's probably the best fire gloves in the world. I partnered with one brother for the safety glass business and another brother for the protective clothing business. We still ran them separate for 10 or 15 years, but finally we decided to merge them together, and that's where the MCR comes in. We had Memphis Glove Company, Crew Safety Glasses, and River City Protective Wear, and we merged them in the MCR Safety. I give full credit to my wife. I'd say at times I did work too much, and my wife would rein me in. We had 2 small kids. My first kid was born the year after I started my business, and then 3 years after my business started, the second kid was born. So she did a good job, and I really appreciate her for that. You don't get here by yourself. I got a lot of good people and too many to name, but
Wow is the first thing that comes to mind. This is certainly an elite group of leaders not only in our community, but leaders around the world. All these men exemplify the highest levels of integrity and accountability. These are some of the same principles that Hilliard instilled in our team and are still alive and well here in MCR Safety.
One of the things I respect about Hilliard the most is that if you were to walk up to him on the street without knowing who he was or or what he has accomplished in his life is he's very humble. You would never think that he has achieved what he's achieved. Very down to earth.
He was a very unassuming gentleman. He presented himself as a very honest, direct man who had qualities that I knew that I would like to work with.
I don't know, I'm real lucky to have the quality of people that we've gotten. I'm blessed.
Hey, I wish I could be with you tonight to celebrate this event with you and Harriet. You have been nominated as part of a very prestigious crowd, and very proud to have been a part of the company and to know you personally.
Hilliard, on behalf of the entire MCR Safety and Shelby Group team worldwide, we first want to thank you for your entrepreneurial spirit and vision that gave birth to our company. And secondly, we honor and congratulate you on this prestigious recognition.
Congratulations, Hilliard. You're still our #1 Tiger. He's a U of M fan.